one more thing too. I think we would have been further ahead in, even if we were to, okay, let's just say we were wanting to have a group identity. Okay. Um, what we have ended up doing is we have a pool and we kind of let it sit, and we didn't clean the pool. And every time we went back to the pool, we didn't take a shower, and we got in the water and we took whatever our day's work was. And by the end of the week, if you ever own the pool, it's green. And then we never shock it. And then we expect the pool to look good and welcome people. And we're going to have a pool party and people look at your pool. And I'm like, no, no, I'm not jumping in that. That's for you. You can go ahead and swim in that, but that might be the neighborhood pool, but this neighbor is not going in that because that looks like the hood. Now, when you look back at our population is at what, 44, 45 million right now?
Yep.
Somewhere in there?
44. Yep, 44.
Okay. So the population now in 2023, 44 million. And just about about 2 years before the advent of Planned Parenthood, we were we were 29 million. Okay. This was in 1963, 29 million of us. Between 1965 and right about 2019, do you know how many abortions there were in between that time and 2019? There were a loss of 20 million black babies. And that's not, I'm not lying about that. So let's say 20 million black babies.
Right.
We had 30 million of us, would have got us at 50. So we already would have been ahead by 10 million because we would have been at like 58 million right now, right? So if we're at 58 million or 50, let's say we're at 50 million, not counting in our offspring from 1965 till now, if you didn't double every individual, say you only had 10 million people that duplicated. And so now 10 million created another 10 million. So now you have another 20 million on top. So now you're at 65 million. If the 10 million doubled in between that, another 5 million doubled in between that. On the low end, we would have been at 95 million Black Americans.
Yep.
We would have had 95 million stronger. We'd have had families, and we would not have had this culture pushed on us because we would have been following the plan of what procreation would be like. We would need something to be handed to us, and we would definitely not have worries about what our culture was because the culture would have been invested in family. But because the few gave in to us, and I do mean the few, gave into a certain kind of mindset, they ended up creating a whole brand new destructive life that some others that were thinking at the time fell into because, you know what, they wanted to be accepted. And when you start to do that, you end up destroying the pool. You bring your day's work and you just jump in the water and everything becomes mess. So what do you have to do by the end of the day if you want your pool back to look good? You have to clean the pool. Or you could do like some of us end up doing and find a new house without a pool and just say, screw the pool. I need one. I can just go to the community one when I need to and go home and take a shower and never have to look like the rest of the people there. But now you have a pool that's completely depleted of all joy. It's depleted of all use. And you have to eventually bite the bullet and shock the pool. Let it sit there. Don't let it be used. And this is a part of what we got to do. Don't participate in Black culture. Don't give it no mind. We shock it. We shock the shit out of Black culture and don't participate, don't identify, don't mention it, don't talk about it. We don't buy into it. We don't buy their gifts. We don't buy their CDs. We don't buy the music. We don't pay attention. We don't give it any resources. And
No
watch
oxygen.
that sick dog just shrivel up and die because we have the power. There are, I would believe, of the 45 million, there are probably 28 to 30 million of us who don't buy into that crap. But because the 10 million are paying into it, it stays alive. I think if we just stop paying attention to it, it'll go away. It really will because they have nothing to feed off of. We don't pay them any attention.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
So when you said the doubling of the number, right? If abortions wasn't there, if we even, I mean, is it safe to say if we take it a little further, let's not even talking about the doubling, and we saying what the number could have been, but if the number is that high, would it be that high if this wasn't most abortions are coming out of wedlock relationship, If we cut that out the way, will we still subtract the number? If we cut that number out, do we have to worry about abortions? If we stand firm onto a moral compass to where we're not
That's why, yes, that's why I
willy-nilly and having these kids out of wedlock.
Of
Well,
course.
we don't even have this number.
That is
That's
a code of
that's
ethics.
what I was saying. But we bought into this concept of a brand. Okay, so people think rap started in the 70s or late 60s. It did not. It started in the 20s. And ska was that rap. Okay? When ska came about, ska was was what I guess you would consider mostly black because it was so rhythm centric. And with ska coming out, it was a whole lot of the gyration dancing that popped in. And if you watch how the culture started to shift, it went away from having home to be home to being out dancing to ska music. This is what black culture gravitated to. Once that got into the minds of people saying, I need some reprieve. I'm going to go party. I don't need to be home. And if I am home, I got to work. I don't want to have kids. So I'm not going to have kids anymore. And the best way to not have kids is, they're offering abortion. All of it came back to choice. Yep. If I got, and this is what I don't understand about it, and this is what got me really separated from the majority of black Americans. The theory that they dump drugs in the black community.
Oh my God.
This is what I keep asking people. So if someone came up to you and says, "Hey man,
so stupid.
Hey, man, I got some powder for you, man. You want some powder?" And you'd be like, "No, you better take it, man." I'd be like, "No, I better not." If you have the choice, which you did, to sell it, not only did you take it, pick it up, you picked it up, you tried it, and then you gave it to the guy next to you. And then you made money on it. So how is that the white man's fault if they put it on the ground and you walked up to it, took it up and took it over to your neighbor? How is that white man's fault? It ain't white man to put drugs in your hand. The white man may have presented it to you. He might have presented it to you. I'm not negating his role in it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that somebody introduced it to somebody, but you got to be a different level of stupid to say, you know what? That's a good idea. It killed some people. I'm going to give it to homie over here. Hey, homie, you want some? And you see homie, you like big dummy. And you see him like this, and you're like, this is a good idea. Let's hand it to somebody else. And the next person,
right?
No, that's a different level of stupid. So I can't hand you the excuse, not you people on the panel, but I can't hand people the excuse that somebody else made you do this. One thing has to be true, or two things have to be true. You intentionally did it because you hated your own people, or you're too stupid to be given the responsibility of life. And I think the majority of it is the latter. You're too stupid to be given the responsibility of life. I really do believe that. And what ends up happening, you give the stupid people the platform, and it's by design. I get that. It's by design.
There you go. Yep.
But we buy into the design.
Thank you.
How did Tyler Perry become this famous? It wasn't just black people and it wasn't just white people, right? Tyler Perry is one of the worst influences on black culture ever outside of Flip Wilson. He's the most demeaning, degrading black person I have ever seen, and he makes everything a mockery. Who in the world would think to make an old black lady talk that stupid and make it sound like it's so funny? It's so funny, and it's not funny. What you're telling black and white people is that blacks are too stupid to have an intelligent culture. That's what it is. And it's not white people that made Medea. It's a Negro that made Medea. Yep. And he did it because he could abuse people. The same way that Dr. Dre and the same way that Jay-Z made his money by killing Negroes, he did that. They went on a rampage to murder black people, make music about murdering black. Don't blame Jews. Your stupid behind decided to give the Jews time of day to sell that stuff. You wanted to. Let's just be honest.
Yep.
You can't blame Jews for that, and you can't blame white people for that. And Kanye bought into it too. All of the rap, they bought into it at some point, saying, "Yeah, that's money though." Yep. And after all, we do kill each other. I'm just rapping about what I see. That's the excuse they gave.
I might be telling on myself. Oh, go ahead.